This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Jazza Dickens over Zoom. Jazza, how are you doing? It's been a couple of years, like I said, just said off camera.
Yeah, great, Andy. Thank you for having me on the channel. The channel is massive now, so it's a pleasure for me to be on.
No, listen, I appreciate you giving up some time, mate. It's good to catch up with you. Obviously, since we've last spoke, it's been a bit of a roller coaster over 2 years for you, from golden contract tournament winner to now on the verge of fighting for the IBF world title. Just as kind of a starting point, Jazza, how would you sum up these past couple of years for yourself?
I think I was in the wilderness for a while, and I think I just kept on plugging away, you know, when I get my chance. I said to myself, when I get my chance, I'm going to take it with both hands, and I did. And since in them last 2 years, I was lucky enough to get the opportunity by MTK Global to go in the MTK Golden Contract Tournament. Just before that, I fought for the IBF European. So I think it's been over 5 or 6 fights in them 2 years, and it's been everyone from British Commonwealth and about 3 European champions. So in them 2 years, it's only a world title that I haven't won, which I will do soon, IBF.
That's what we will come on to straight away. Obviously, Kid Galahad, August 7th at fight camp. How excited are you? How are preparations going?
Perfect. Yeah, everything's going better than normal. I write everything down. I've got everything logged down from all the years of training. So I'm ahead of schedule. So yeah, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm content.
Would you have ever thought, Jazza, moving on from you when you two met 8 years ago, you would have ended up fighting again for a world title?
Yeah. When I lost, I knew I would. I knew it'd come to this because I knew I'd get my revenge, and I knew that I wasn't going to happen for anything less than a world title. Do you know what I mean? Because after the fight, someone just came in the changing room and said we're vacating. That was like 10 minutes after the fight. So I knew we weren't going to fight. We weren't going to meet again. We weren't going to be rematched, you know, and we weren't going to meet again until it was a world title fight.
How much do you feel you've both improved in that 8-year period, Jazza, and how much better of a fight are the fans in store for come August 7th?
I think after that fight, he took off big time. He was flying. I watched it. I think it was his next 2 fights. I think he boxed for a Commonwealth title and a European title, the EBU European title, I think it was. And he was really impressive. And he seems to be getting better and better. And he got busted, didn't he? He got busted for PEDs, and then I think he lost momentum. I lost as well. I then stepped ahead of him, fought for the world title, and then lost the world title and British title back to back. Then he stepped ahead of me, fought for the world title and lost, and now we're both meeting for the world title. So I think we've both been progressing, but I feel like the momentum. Well, I know the momentum is with me right now. Do you know what I mean? It comes and it goes. Do you know what I mean? I'm lucky enough to have a great team around me who's giving me these opportunities to fight and to take my chances and to be active. Be fighting for everyone's like, I think it works out something like every 4 months. I've been fighting for titles for the last 2 years. Do you know what I mean? I'm very lucky. That just doesn't happen. You've got to have a great team around you to make them opportunities possible. So I'm lucky enough to have the team I've got. I don't know who's taking care of his man. Who's his manager?
I'm not sure.
I don't know who's taking, but I don't think he's fought for over a year. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on, but definitely the momentum's with me. But he's a great fighter, and he improved in the gym because I know that he's not stupid. He knows that if he's not improving, everybody else is. That's just boxing to conveyor belt. If you're not, it's not going to stop for you. Time doesn't stop for you, so he will be in the gym trying to improve as well.
It's something I was going to ask you is kind of the activity you've just mentioned there for yourself and the inactivity for Kid Galahad. He hasn't fought during the pandemic. You have. How key do you think that will be, that you've at least been able to get out, shake off any ring rust at least once and just get a feel for this new environment? Granted, at fight camp, there will be a small number of fans, but it's still not as much as what in normal circumstances a fight between you two would generate.
Yes, You can look into it too much, you think, Andy. Do you know what I mean? I think a fight's a fight, isn't it? And we're both in the same boat. That's the thing with boxing. Have you noticed throughout this pandemic, the losers are affected, but the winners weren't bothered. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got an excuse when they lose, haven't they? And the pandemic is the best excuse of all. Do you know what I mean? So it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse for me. It's not an excuse for him. It's no one's excuse, the pandemic, because we're both in the same boat. And that's the thing with boxing. Do you know what I mean? Unless one of us has an injury or something, then you can say there's an excuse there. I weren't at my best, but you can't say you weren't at your best because other people weren't watching you live, you know.
When the pair of you are in the ring, Jazza, what should everybody expect?
Or, yeah, just a proper fucking barnstormer, a fight. Yeah, just a good fight. You know what I mean? He tries to nullify fights, but he can't nullify a fight with me. The way I fight, you can't nullify it. It's always an exciting fight. The only way he could make it boring is if he runs. Do you know what I mean? And he's not going to. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a really good fight.
I don't know whether you'll agree with this or not, Jazza, but would you argue for most of your career you've been seen as the underdog, heading into certainly the bigger fights of your career so far? Heading into this one, Kid Galahad is the favourite, but what are your thoughts on it?
Fuck them all. That's what I really think. Fuck them all. I don't know what can I say about that. You know what I mean? A fight's a fight, and I don't think they get the right to tell me if I'm the underdog, you know.
Since you two last fought again, Jazza, what's the relationship been like between the pair of you? Have you had any conversations? Do you talk at all, or is it kind of you said your words after the last bout and you've kind of just gone on your own route since?
No, there's mutual respect there. We spar every time we've had fights coming up. We both know, like, we both value each other's boxing ability and boxing skills. Every time one of us is fighting a southpaw, we call upon each other. We've used each other. Do you know what I mean? We're both intelligent fighters. We haven't got that much pride to say, fuck him, I'm not fighting, not sparring with him. You know what I mean? But the sparring has stopped over the last few years. Both been coming up the ranks, so we both. What happens is you get to a level where you go, I don't want to show me cards where I am, where I'm improving. So you see where you just both end, and if you're in the same ranks, you start using other sparring partners, and that's been the case really.
So just on the sparring experiences then, how much can either of you draw from your past rounds?
I'm happy with it, like I'm happy with it, but it's not sparring, do you know what I mean? I'm happy with how the sparring's been. But what I can say is that when I'm sparring him, I'm using him because I'm getting in good shape for the fight. He's not necessarily in a fight camp. When he's using me, he's getting in shape. I'm not necessarily in fight camp. So you can only, it'd be stupid, do you know what I mean? You have to say, we're both making weight, we're both in our peak, and we're both turns up to win. Do you know what I mean? That's like that's what it's going to be on the night. So it's not a spar, it's different.
Jazza, one man I want to get your thoughts on as well is Tony Bellew. How key and significant has he played the role and a part in your career for certainly over these last couple of years?
Bomber's just a kind person. He's got a massive heart. Everything he's done for me, he's done it for free. He's done it out of the goodness of his own heart, just to teach me. And what he says to me, I want to teach you to then teach to the lads in Liverpool who are coming through. You can pass the knowledge on to them, what I've learned. I can pass it to you, and you can pass it to them. And that's what type of guy he is. He's been so kind to me. Also, everybody at MTK, they work together. So, I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure to work with these people who are so kind. And my coaches, Georgie Vaughan and Eddie Matthews.
Sorry, Jazz, I was just about to say, I remember seeing Tony and Dave Caldwell ringside when you and Lee Wood fought. Both of you obviously shouting for, him, Tony for you, and Dave for Lee, egging you both on, Gene, you both on. Tony's been announced as a part of the DAZN commentary team and their new media lineup today. What are you expecting come fight night? Are you expecting to see him there shouting and saying all sorts from ringside?
He's got to be commentating on me with a Team Jazza top on, trying to be impartial. Against Lee Woods, right? I was in the clinch in a corner by where him and Dave were standing, and he was shouting and he's banging on the canvas. He was like Frank Bruno in the McClellan Ben fight, weren't he? Banging on the canvas. And the bell went. And by the time I got back to my corner, he was in our corner. I don't think he's going to be allowed to commentate, is he? on fight, definitely not. I don't know, but also Andi Lee's. I'm absolutely buzzing for Tony. I think Tony, he doesn't hold back and he's very honest. So I think not just only happy for Tony, I'm happy for the zone that they've got Tony. Do you know what I mean? Because he's definitely worth his weight in gold. And also Andi Lee, he's got a great opinion. I like Macklin's opinion. I really like Macklin's opinion. I don't know if he's staying with Sky. I don't know what's going on there. But he brought on a great team also with Darren Barker and your man Chris. Is Chris?
Yeah. So the team is Chris Lloyd, Darren Barker, Tony Bellew, Andy Lee, Mike Costello, and then Maya Jama and Laura Woods. Fantastic.
I think what they were saying, like they were going to announce this great team and all. I think they've done a good job on it.
Moving forward, just once again, Jazza, I was trying to kind of get an idea as to what would you look to do provided August 7th goes to plan? Have you thought about what will be next?
Nah, you don't really. You can't. Do you know what I mean? Because you'd be a fool, wouldn't you? I mean, you'd be a fool to do that, to look past the fights. Every day when I'm on meals running in the morning, I just stop and put my hands in the air and visualize being world champion. The only thing I can do, the end of my visualization goes to having that belt wrapped around me and the new IBF world champion amongst the great featherweight champions of the world forever. And never, amen.
Jazza, just one man I want to get your thoughts on is Josh Warrington. If he was to come through the Maurizio Lara match as is being spoken about to take place in September, if that all gets rubber stamped and he come through it, would you have any interest in facing Josh?
I've been calling Josh's name for years. Josh hasn't given me one mention whilst he was being world champion. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'd love to fight him. I always have wanted to. I weren't just saying because he had the belt. When I've got the belt, I'd love to defend it against him. Do you know what I mean? I think Josh's problem is going to be the way he handles his situation with the IBF. Do you know what I mean? I thought he'd become a bit above the governing body, and then therefore it turns on him. So his problem's not with me. I'll fight any man. I'm a fighting man, but yeah, I'll fight him anytime. Got a lot of respect for him. Got a lot of respect for Sean as our man. But yeah, I would love to fight him, as I've always said I would. And also, if it was allowed to go ahead, do you know what I mean? He's got to come to Lara first, though. And my opinion on that fight, I don't think he has the ability. I don't think he has the experience as an amateur fighter. It's not everything, and it's a different game. It's from the pros, but the fundamentals weren't there on how to negotiate around a different style of fighting. He came up against the South American style. You could see he'd never been in with that type of fighter before. He was punching them 4 times, very slow. You don't get it like that here in England. You don't get it's like 1-2, step out, 1-2. It's phaser boxing, and the Mexican style. He was standing in front of him, punching him 4 times, very, very, very slow. He didn't have the timing of this fella. He didn't have the experience on how to deal with the South American fighter because he hasn't come up against it before ever in his life. So I think that's the lack of experience in that area was the telling factor. I don't think it was because of COVID or because no one was in there. I just don't believe he has. I think he's going to have a tough night against Lara again. And give Lara his due as well. What a guy, you know what I mean? You could also say that me and Galahad are fighting for the belt that he should be fighting for, do you know what I mean? I want to give him his props as well. He deserves a shout because he shocked the world, didn't he, that night?
Certainly did, Josh. Certainly did, Jazza. We started talking about Josh there. The only reason, obviously, we mentioned Josh is because he would once again, it would be just another massive British fight if you was to face Josh for a world title, and you would like to think hopefully by then we'll have full capacities back at stadiums. Would you see that as a stadium fight, Jazza?
Yeah, and he'll have to come to Goodison.
Jazza, just a few more things we're gonna get your thoughts on. Obviously, there's some boxing over in America this past weekend. I don't suppose you tuned in or watched any of it.
I don't watch boxing. Boxing's crap. Just kidding. No, I didn't watch. I seen the highlights on social media. That's all I see really. Who boxed? It was Lomachenko winning.
So you had Lomachenko fought, Gervonta Davis fought as well.
Yeah, sorry, bosses. I can't. I feel like I should lie and make something up because it's boxing fans who are watching, but I don't actually watch the boxing. My favorite sport's snooker.
Oh wow, okay. Well, I've watched snooker, but I don't think I could sit here and go into detail about that, Jazza.
Did you watch Money O'Sullivan last week?
Oh no, I did not. So I'm taking it. I've missed out on something there. But Jazza, listen, I appreciate your time today. I'm going to leave you now to enjoy the rest of your evening. But as I like to do with everybody, just a final word from yourself to everybody who's going to tune in on August 7th, everybody who's going to support you, follow you. Yeah, just a final message.
Yeah, thank you everyone for all the support, not just now, but all the times that you've ever come to watch me to get me to this point. And I think it's frustrating, this fight. I'm not going to knock my opportunity back here, but the tickets are £750 apparently. So there's people who've been coming when there's £30 a ticket, £40 a ticket, and it's like, then people won't be able to come. Do you know what I mean? I feel sad for them. Am I going to stop not fight and say, no, I'm going to fight because it's my opportunity, it's what I've worked for. But then people, they should know that I'm fighting for all of us, and it doesn't go unnoticed when you do come and spend your hard-earned money on me. Now's my chance to say thank you because I don't have no agenda. It's not like I'm trying to sell tickets, you know what I mean? So thank you everyone for the support, not now, always. And yeah, I'll bring that title back to Liverpool. I'm going to get a good defence, maybe in Goodison against Josh Warrington.
Right, Jazza, we will leave that then. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your evening. Like I say, it's a pleasure to catch up with you. I will keep in touch, of course. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you, Andi, and Boxing Social.